You guys good with that?
Yep.
And we'll just take it from there.
Okay.
Does that sound good?
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. You guys ready to roll? Let's get after it. Welcome to the Ari Source. Guys, look at these two legends with me, Frank Garay and Carl White. I don't even have to do intros. Like, I have legends with me today. I'm honored.
I mean, everybody knows that we're in charge of the Chippendale's recruiting platform.
Right. Yes.
So, yeah.
This is a powerhouse.
Clearly, we've retired from them at this point, but we still do some recruiting. Yeah.
Yes. And that's what we're here today to talk about, right?
Clearly.
Two legends and a gray-haired chubby guy, me, just talking about thriving in 2023, guys. So I'll kind of tell you how the show happened. So Frank, good friend of mine, reached out last week, which I love, Frank, man. He just called. He's like, hey, man, I don't have any agenda. I just want to check and see how you're doing.
Yeah.
And like you realtors and LOs, the start of the year has been tough. So, you know, I actually was like, this was my physical posture when my good buddy checked on me. Like, okay, let me just have a good conversation with Frank.
Okay, no,
right
wait a
now.
second. No, all kidding aside, I think we're on to something already there. What I just heard you say was, I haven't talked to him in a while. This guy picks up the phone and calls me, and here we are, insert in a few hours later, and he's now doing recording on your show. Yeah. Just being perfectly transparent, where you're introducing him, us, or reintroducing or whatever to this large following that you have, and nobody's writing a check.
Yeah.
And so nobody bought your time or ours, right? And it all happened with a simple phone call. And you said that when you got that phone call, you immediately went, oh,
yeah,
my buddy Frank, man, I love talking with Frank.
Yep.
Isn't that interesting? So what I'm hearing you say is there was no Snapchat, there was no TikTok, there was no, not that there's anything wrong with any of that stuff, right? It's all good stuff. But that's not how this happened. It was Frank picked up a phone and made a phone call.
Yeah.
And funny how that works, isn't it?
It is.
And we just got talking and we started actually talking about interesting things. I'm like, man, we should have recorded this. Like, this is a good conversation.
Yeah.
I think people need to hear that. And then I was like, well, you and Carl want to jump on, camera and just do a quick show? He's like, Frank, yeah, man, let's go.
Sure. I'm sure Carl will do it.
Yeah. So yeah, Carl, great point. Like this is why I think like-minded people continue to be friends through the industry. We've known each other for, over a decade, well over, and you guys have always done amazing things for the industry. Carl, to your point, not just because I got paid or there's an agreement, like, hey, let's just get on and try to lead through a tough time and add value. Like we've all tried to do that. I have a tremendous amount of respect for both you guys. And that was the goal today, because there's, the market's contracting. It's starting to, a lot of people are starting to go, Hills, this is starting to feel like 08, Realtors are feeling it, loan officers are feeling it. So that is the only time I'll spend on negativity today on this call, is just to validate some of your feelings.
Well, you know what, though, Ryan, at the risk of hurting some relationships here, I believe in telling, I'm a red pill, blue pill guy, right? So I'm a red pill guy. And if you remember right, in the Matrix, the red pill was where you're willing to hear the truth, even if it's upsetting and unsettling, rather than being just settled in the mediocrity of the blue pill.
Yeah.
Right. So the truth of the matter is, last year, which many loan officers thought was a challenging year, come to find out, when you actually look at the numbers, was the second best purchase year ever in volume. And now I did say in volume, because while loan numbers went down, the prices of houses went up.
Mm-hmm.
We all get paid on volume, not units. And so volume wise, second best year ever, only beat by the year before, 2021.
Mm.
And 2023 is slated to be the third best year ever. So I just want to caution everybody that when you go, hey, I'm going to kind of lay low here and let things get back to normal. Normal is less than now. We're in the third best year ever. This isn't normal. This is better than normal. And so I think I call it clarity of the current situation, that we can all sit here and say, and trust me, I've said it to myself, brother, hey man, this is a hard year. Well, wait a minute, Carl, how do you explain that this is, if you look at the numbers, which are published, second best year ever in purchase volume? So I don't think we can let ourselves off the hook by saying, hey, I'm down because everybody's down. That's not true. Last I checked, which was a couple days ago, and I just randomly picked a state, the state of Texas, 40% of the loan officers, 40, almost half, haven't renewed their license yet, which was due about a month ago.
Yep.
Half.
Yep.
Let's look at the real numbers. We're in our third best year ever, and about half are gone.
Yeah, that frees up a lot of market share.
It frees up some serious market share.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we heard that stat, Carl, 40%. I was like, man, that seems high. And then we actually had Garth Graham from Strathmore on, he's what he does.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey man, I heard the stat. He's like, yeah, Hills, that's absolutely true. So if you guys missed that show, anybody watching, go back. That's 30 minutes talking, really unwinding what Carl just talked about. And it's great perspective. I mean, you throw out the anomaly of 2020 and 2021, Carl's right. Like, it's still one of the third best for most people in the industry. Of the last 15, I think it was 15 years, it's the third best year ever. Sure, the units are down, but the market share, Frank, good point, opportunities are
They're there.
Yeah.
And that's why I wanted to bring you guys on today, because, you guys got, the Mortgage Marketing Animals, the Breakfast Club, you guys work with top originators, East to West Coast. I want to focus on, my saying and Casey's saying, what you focus on grows. So if we're focusing on losses, those losses are going to grow. Let's focus on wins. So catch us up, guys. Like, what are you guys working on? What you doing? Catch us up. And then also, like, let's talk about some wins. How are people winning in this market right now?
Yeah, you know what, man? I would just say this, that I came over to the Marketing Animals with Carl. God, Carl's going to be 2 years in June. I think 2 years in June.
Yeah, it seems like forever.
It does. Yeah, I know. We've been here. I love. Yeah, it's been so awesome. And over the past couple of years, being now immersed in the Mortgage Marketing Animals ecosystem, and their company, and with all of the coaching students and all the coaches, it's been really, really interesting, Ryan, just to see the extraordinary success that people are having. Of course, we can attribute it to the coaching, right? We'll that goes without saying. We'll say that, but really, what it comes down to, if we want to kind of get down to nuts and bolts, is a lot of originators that are not in that 40%, right? The 60% that are left over. If they really would just, find the plan, right? Find the plan that works and step up and start executing the plan in a consistent way, in a daily consistent way, that I think they'll be absolutely surprised at the results that they'll get. It's just you've got to have the right plan, and more importantly, you've got to execute that plan. You have absolutely got to execute that plan. Yeah, the success that we're seeing within the Freedom Club, Marketing Animals, with the people we even have on Breakfast Club, it's really insane. It's absolutely insane. We got a guy coming on. I don't know if you know this, Carl. Well, yeah, you're going to podcast him because you beat me to it. DJ Fuchs, I think. We battle for the best podcast once in a while. Carl usually wins.
Well,
but
Frank does a better podcast. So I try to get into the interviewees faster, trying to catch up with him. But anyway, tell the story.
So we got a guy coming on. He was on Breakfast Club before as a member spotlight. His name's DJ Fuchs, and he's a relatively new kid. He's not too long in the biz. And in 2022, he did like 12 million for the year, right? It's about $1 million a month, right? And in January of 2023, he did 1.2 million. So, okay, things are pretty much at $1 million a month. This month he's at 4.1. He's at 4.1 million. Yeah. How come DJ Fuchs is going up? Let's think about it. Why is this kid, on an up trajectory right now? What's going on here? And we can say a lot of different things. Well, man, that's his area. That's his neck of the woods or something like that. No, it's not. It's just a plan being executed. That's what it is.
Another example, Michelle Miller. So Michelle Miller is in Warsaw, Indiana. I'm sure everybody's heard of Warsaw, Indiana.
Right.
Or not, right? Or not.
Never.
Yeah. She closed 17 units last month. 17 units last month in Warsaw, Indiana. Or Ferris Farage, Faraj is his name. Ferris Farage. Ferris is 12 units in California. So a lot of people say, hey, the California market, man, it's competitive. It's really tight. Dude's closing 12 units for the month, right? For the month. Or Cynthia Rock, Texas. She just wrote me a check. I shared it with Frank for 76 cents this morning. We have this thing, Ryan, that when anytime somebody makes more than $1 million as a W-2 income for the year, Frank and I get everything to the right of the decimal point. So I think she was like
$1 million. Good gig, Ryan.
$100,767. $1.76
Wow.
was her W-2 income. So Frank and I got the 76 cents. So, and she's in Texas, right? Making $1 million and she doesn't own a big company, right? She's a loan officer closing loans.
Originator. Right.
Originator.
Yeah.
And that's not a side hustle of Uber. That's closing loans.
Yeah.
And so I think we just have to have a clarity of the current situation. But I think it's also, I heard not too long ago a stat. I haven't verified it, but I bet it's true. I heard a stat that I think it was like 1.6 million real estate agents, that 800,000 of them, half of them closed 0 deals last year.
Right.
Yep.
And so I think it's the same thing in the loan officer world, is those that are, feeling victimized, are going to be victimized, and those that actually take action and figure out what is it that actually makes the phone ring, what activity, like Cyril said, all we got to do is look at what's the activity that brought in our last 10 loans, whether that was last week, last month, or the last 2 years combined, right? Doesn't matter. Like, what brought in your last 10 loans? Do more of that.
Well, let me ask you, like the viewers listening, and you just mentioned, 4 or 5 examples of people winning, but they're going, what are they doing, Carl? Like, tell me what they're doing. Like, is it as simple as, you guys have worked with these people? Is there mortgage X's and O's that you can talk about? Because they're like, that's great, I want more of it, but I need more details. Or is it as simple as mindset?
Let me give you another fact. I personally took a poll. We had 14,000 loan officers weigh in on this one. And the question was, are you making prospecting phone calls? And this off the top of my head, I think it was either 14 or 15%, somewhere, let's say 15. 15% said, I'm making my calls using scripts at work. The other 85% said, I avoid making my phone calls. Now, the next question was, what are you doing to make things happen? The number one answer was, I'm doing the best I can. As long as I don't have to pick up the phone. Right?
Well, best you can isn't a
you
strategy.
Put the two together, right?
I looked either.
And so, but I again, we have to clarify something. Somehow we picture the phone calls as like, ooh, I don't want to make a phone call. That's nasty, right? That's hard. Hey, we're sitting in a comfortable chair in an air-conditioned or heated room, a little gentle fan blowing on us. I've got my herbal tea sitting here beside me. I'm looking out my window at a beautiful little lake and the ducks swimming around, and I'm not getting rained on. There's no mosquitoes in here. I'm not getting a sunburn by pulling weeds out and my back's breaking. I'm sitting in a chair reading scripts, calling people that can refer me business. And somehow we paint that out as, this is hard, this is difficult. Oh, dear God, I will spend $5,000 a month having somebody, quote, have a system where I don't have to make outbound prospecting phone calls. And frankly, they're just selling magic beans, right?
Yeah,
there is no beanstalk. And so I've always thought, brother, we get the best gig ever. That every time we get a yes, we get, I don't know, probably national average, somewhere around $3,000, some more, some less. Depending, is a company offering, the leads, you can generate your own leads. Do you have help? Don't have help, but give or take about 3,000. So every time we get a yes, we make $3,000. Every time, if I got hypothetically realtor Ryan Hills to start referring me a deal a month, that conversation is worth $36,000 for the year. If I get Ryan 1, 2, and 3, I just increased my income by $100,000.
Right.
By sitting in a comfortable chair, air-conditioned room, herbal tea, making simple phone calls. And that's exactly what Ferris and Michelle and Cynthia and all these other top loan officers are doing. That's what they're doing. It's just making simple phone calls. It's just, we call it getting brilliant at the basics. And that thing where, ooh, I don't want to go chase anybody. I don't want to beg for business. Hey, we call that salesmanship where I come from.
Yeah.
Well, that is the job, by the way.
That is
by
the
the
job.
way,
But
it's in the
people
job
will pay-
description.
People will pay thousands of dollars simply not to do that.
Yeah.
And, the only thing I can say, and man, I don't mean this come across an uncool way. If you're not doing that, pretty soon you're going to be asking if they want fries with that. Right.
Mm.
And brother, that's hard. I'm not making fun of that. Like, that's hard. I heard
I
somebody
know.
say,
I did it. It's one of the hardest jobs I ever had.
I get it.
Yeah.
I had somebody just the other day said, boy, if this doesn't turn around, I'm going to have to get a real job. Dude, treat this like a real job. and you can make hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Why do you think that is? I mean, I'm totally agreeing with what you're saying, and I see it myself. It's
Yeah.
like they're stepping over dollars to go pick up pennies. Like, I just don't understand that mindset. It's so
No, they're spending
fruitful.
dollars to make pennies.
Yeah, sometimes
They're
that way
spending
too.
dollars to make pennies. I think it really boils down to two things. They don't think they're worthy, and the fear of rejection. And look, I don't like rejection anymore than anybody else. But what I found out is when somebody says no to my, let's call it my offer. When somebody says no to my offer, whether that's a borrower, a prospective borrower, or a referring real estate agent, they're not saying no to me. Hell, they don't know me. They don't know you. Anybody knows Frank would never. Frank's like the coolest dude ever. Ryan, you're like the nicest guy ever. Nobody would ever say no to either one of you guys, right? I'm a little on the edgy side, right? I get it, but you
Questionable.
guys are. So they're not saying no to you. And the loan officers that you're listening to this, are watching this today, they're not saying no to you. They're saying no to your offer.
Yeah.
And the example I give is like I was at a restaurant last night in Puerto Rico right before I flew out to come here, and we had a nice meal. At the end of that meal, she asked me if I wanted some key lime pie. I was full. I love key lime pie, by the way. I was full. So she seemed nice, pleasant. She was a great server. So I whatever, I'm using air quotes here, liked her just fine, right? The restaurant was good. The food was good. I bet that key lime pie was actually pretty good. And I like key lime pie. I was just full. So when I said no, I didn't say, no, I don't like you. No, I don't like the restaurant. Get away from me. The nerve of you asking me if I wanted key lime pie. I just simply didn't want key lime pie. And so when we give somebody an offer and they tell us no, they're not saying, no, I hate you. The nerve of you asking me. I can't wait to tell all my friends that you ask, and we're all going to make fun of you for asking. Nobody's doing that.
Right.
They
Might
just
just be not for today.
they're just not for today. Now,
Yeah.
tomorrow, if she asked me for the key lime pie, we're probably going to get a yes out of that,
Yes.
but not today. And I think it's just getting away from that thought of that fear of rejection that somehow I suck when they say no. By the way, Ryan, my personal yes rate runs about 16%. So I get 84% no's and 16% yeses and generate an 8-figure income on 16% yeses.
It's pretty simple if you think about it. It really is. It's not too complex. I think that where originators could benefit is if they understand that, look, it is a huge purchase market. There's a lot of purchase deals getting done. Those deals are with the real estate agents, and we got to start talking to those real estate agents, right? But even more so, we got to identify who the ones are that are doing the business, because they're hurting too, right? Ryan, you brought it up yourself. But there's a nucleus of agents that are doing great. I mean, they're doing just great. They're doing just fine, right? But if we have to, as an originator, we have to identify who they are.
Yeah.
And then we have to have conversations with those people, because Carl brought it up before. I listened to a podcast Carl did a while back. He goes, man, if you want to eat an orange, would you rather plant an orange seed and water that thing and try and wait for it to grow before you can get an orange? Or would you rather just go to an orange tree that's full grown, it's got oranges hanging all over, and just pick an orange off it?
Yeah.
Right? Up to you. You can do it either way. Either way, you can do it. Right?
Yeah.
You can do it. So if we're originators and we're going out and looking for real estate partners, but we're not really figuring out if they're a sapling or if they've got fruit on the, if we're not figuring that out, we might be talking to a bunch of saplings that just don't have nothing that just don't have anything, right? So we have to identify the ones that are doing well. Okay, now we have to approach them. And, I hear this all the time, these realtors are getting all these calls on Monday and they're sick of hearing it and blah, 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 right? Here's the truth, man. Sometimes when you call these agents, you will get once in a while, you'll get an agent says, I'm getting called a bunch, right? You'll get that once in a while. But for the most part, brother, what we've seen with our students and with our personal branches that we take care of, like not that often. And the other thing is this, is that everybody needs to understand too, as originators, there may be good producing agents who are receiving a handful of phone calls from some other originators out there, but those originators are calling once, maybe twice. They're really rambunctious 3 times.
They expect it, dude. They're the hot girl at the bar. You're going to get hit on.
they're going to get hit on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're not shocked by it. Like, yeah, I know I do a lot of business.
See, that's why I've always gone after the average looking dude.
Nowhere near closing ratio is much higher.
But hey, you know what? So, with us, we really focus on making sure, like, we are going to call and engage with these agents up to 12 weeks, like up to 12 times. And it's funny, Ryan, when you get into like week 6, week 7, week 8, and you've left primarily all voicemails, you know, because they're ignoring you because they know what's going on. But it's so funny. Week 7, week 8, all of a sudden they pick up and they go, you know what, man?
Yeah.
You know what? You've really been very, very consistent. You know, I would like, okay, let's have a get together. Let's meet. Right. And so that's where the winners are winning. Okay, is the ones who have a plan and can stick to that plan and do it methodically and do it in the right way. It's going to take a minute. It's not, you know, it's a 90-day journey, right? It's a 90-day journey. But at the end of that 90 days, your business is transformed and you've developed new relationships, and you can continue to do so going forward from that point on.
Carl wants to jump in, I can tell, but I just want to point out another piece that you mentioned there. Like, guess what, guys? The psychology behind the hot girl at the bar or the realtor that's getting called on, they're a hustler, right? They're doing really good. Guess what hustlers appreciate? Other hustlers. Yeah. And you're not going to win that on the first call or the second or the third. No. You have to speak their love language and be a hustler too. So Frank, you just outlined it. Like, if you want to go get an orange tree, that's going to, drop a plethora of oranges.
What it takes.
You got to hustle. So I just wanted to point that out and then throw it back to Frank or Carl, because I know you wanted to jump in.
Well, I was just going to say, and the reason why we focus on the realtor relationship so much, because we do for sure, is that 67% of all purchase loans close with the loan officer the real estate agent recommended. Let me get that again.
Yeah, good point.
67% of all, almost 70%, almost 7 out of 10 purchase deals close with loan officer the real estate agent recommended. So, like, why would I do anything else? Like, why try swimming upstream when I mean, for me, I've always thought the loan officers, we've got the best gig ever because we don't even have to go find the client. We have this free army of real estate agents that find the client for us because people call on listings. We can generate some leads. I get it, right? We do through our past database and calling our pre-approved lookings and things like that. But for the most part, 9 times out of 10, somebody calls a real estate agent about buying a house, not a loan officer. Mm-hmm. So instead of trying to disrupt that, instead of trying to get the Mississippi River to start flowing from south to north, what if we just put a boat and float down the way it generally flows down? We can move so much further with so much less energy. And again, getting these real estate agents referred to us, it's free. It's like this free army of agents. And you get about 10 agents that for free are out getting your deals for you. And all you got to do is be nice. We did a poll. This is going back probably 6-7 years. We asked 10,000 real estate, or we got 10,000 responses back from a poll we did. What's your number one complaint about your loan officer? It was 3 things. Number 1, they don't close me on time. Number 2, I don't know what's going on with the deal. Number 3, I send over a lead. I never hear back from them. Their complaints weren't, they don't pay for my Zillow leads. They don't,
Lisa
product or pricing. That's important to note out.
Yeah, they don't have the right products. They don't have the right pricing.
Yeah.
Or they don't send me leads. Look, these great producing agents, they don't need leads. They don't need my help to grow their business. They already got a great business. That'd be like me calling Taylor Swift saying, hey, Taylor, I'll help you write some songs. So you go, I kind of got that, Carl. I'm already pretty good at that part. Right. So now if I call the struggle bunnies, which is most, right, they do need help, right? But like Frank says, instead of watering a seedling, I suppose, I'm going to go after a full-grown orange tree that's already producing oranges, because that's a sure thing.
Well, and it's easier for us to identify those. When all 3 of us got in the business, you didn't have technology that would show you that they're an actual tree. You'd have to go out to a happy hour, and then 10 minutes in, you're like, oh man, this guy does no business. You'd have to waste time. Now, back to Frank's point, your point, ROI on time spent on finding those orange trees, there's technology. It'll tell you. It'll actually tell you how much volume they're doing or not doing. I love that, Frank, because I'm an efficiency geek. I hate wasting time. So I'm going to go find that orange tree before I meet with that person.
Exactly. It just makes so much more sense. Yeah. Carl's really put together just a brilliant plan. It's unbelievable, man. And even simple things like this, Ryan, that where originators can really do well today is, okay, even if you're a little reluctant to try the real estate agent call thing, which you shouldn't be. You should really do that. Hey, can you at least start with your client database? Can you at least start having actual phone conversations with them instead of an email blast, right? Where your signature says "I love referrals." It's just not good enough, But if you,
Never too busy for your.
I'm never too busy for your
But,
referrals,
but I'm too busy to call you.
But I'm too busy to call. But like at Breakfast Club today, or yesterday we today's Thursday, right? Yeah. So yesterday Wednesday is when we call our past clients, right? And so it's past client day, and so on Breakfast Club we got everybody revved up. Come on, man, call your past client database, and everybody's thumbs up and chiming in. And today we went around and said, okay, who did it? Who did it? And boy, I tell you, we had like seven or eight people. I did it, and I got this, and I picked this up, and I got that deal. And then we're having conversations with them, and the winner of the t-shirt giveaway today, Carl, Delisha, she just started coming to Breakfast Club like on Tuesday or something, right? She did it. Remember, she picked up a refi or something like that. And I asked her, I said, so let me ask you, on these calls, were a lot of people mad at you when you called, like, angry because you hadn't spoke to them? She's like, no, everybody was great. I say, you're saying like everybody was like happy to hear from you? Completely, 100%, thrilled to hear from me. I go, yeah, interesting, isn't it? So even for any originators that are listening to this, I mean, come on, especially if you've been in the business for 10 years, something like that. Oh, you got a database. You should have a nice database. Call those people, say hello, thank them for doing business with you in the past. See if there's anything you can help them with, or if they happen to know anybody else that needs your help. Boy, oh boy, you are going to be shocked to learn that people actually do still refi. We heard those. That happens all the time. Still do refi, but know people who need help, have a referral for you. It's just unbelievable. It's stuff that would have never happened, though. You would have never known in a million years if you didn't pick up the phone and actually have the conversation with them.
But you know that I don't want to downplay. Look, social marketing, it's good. Like, I do social marketing. Frank, I know you do.
Yeah.
Brian, I'm assuming you do. Like, we there's nothing wrong with social marketing.
It's good top of mind.
Yeah, video marketing. God knows this worked for the three of us extremely well. And Ryan, you're a good-looking guy. Me and Frank, a bit challenging.
Not so much, but
me more than Frank. And no, really, video marketing has done us, the three of us, extremely well, right? Real well. And you look at all the different technology, it's done us well. Here's the thing, though. Here's what I found. So, like, my Facebook marketing, as a general rule, people, like, real estate agents don't see my video marketing and call me up and go, Carl, I saw your Facebook ad. I want to send you all my referrals from this point on, right? That I don't know, like, literally, that I don't know if that's ever happened to me. And I've spent literally over $1 million of my own personal dollars on my Facebook ads. So I spend a lot of money on Facebook ads. And in my video marketing, it's worked for me really well. Me personally, I can't think of an instance where I sent out a video and I had agents call me, please, let me, I'm begging you, let me send you all my clients from this point forward. But what does happen is when we call them and they've seen our videos, they've seen our social media, now we're not a stranger. And so a lot of people think, well, do nothing but the technology, and then the other goes, well, screw the technology, do nothing but the phone. And I think they're missing out. I think it's the combination of the two together, that one without the other, I believe, is a colossal mistake. I'll tell you, doing everything but the phone calls will likely result in virtually nothing, or definitely a struggle. The phone calls without the technology, it will certainly work. No question about it, right? I see them do it, but it'll work. It's a multiplier effect when we start adding on the other technology, the video marketing and the Facebook ads, so that when they get our pre-approval letter, they know who we are. When we call them up for that coffee appointment, they know who we are. And so it definitely moves the needle having these other things in place. But if you have those other things without the phone calls, it's not going to work out.
I think it's important because people see maybe you and I and Frank, and they wrongly assume like, oh, they shot a video and got a deal from that. Like, we both have 3 powerhouse brands for over a decade. And I agree with you, Carl. Like, our content's out there building rapport, so that when I meet them in person, so that when I pick up the phone, while I'm sleeping, it was building rapport in a relationship. It was branding. And I think a lot of people stopped doing social because they did this thing, they expected this thing. And I'm glad that you kind of clarified that because it's a trap. It doesn't mean that social's broken. You're just not using it properly, or you have the incorrect expectations out of it. Dude, we're already at 30 minutes, and I know you guys have our hard stop. It seems like we've
Right.
only had 5 minutes to talk, so this went fast. We'll have to have you guys back on, but I kind of want to tee you up for what you're good at, and you've done this for well over a decade, guys. Back to like, I think people are a bit call reluctant, but there is a big group of people that don't mind making those calls. Carl, my opinion, my perspective is they don't have a good blueprint, and I think that's where you and mortgage marketing analysts come in with scripts. With, hey, let me keep this simple, stupid. You're going to call these folks on this day at this time with
Yep.
this script. So I want to kind of end with that, tee you up, and if you guys haven't looked into it, maybe Carl and Frank can give you a little teaser of what that looks like. Because if you're just looking for a blueprint and you don't mind doing the hard work, that's where a guy like, Frank and Carl can come in and help. So can you speak to that, Carl, and we'll wrap with that?
Well, I think, is it okay for me to do a shameless plug?
For sure, absolutely.
All right, so I would say Frank's got the nail on this one, to be honest with you. So Frank leads a group of hundreds and hundreds of loan officers every morning from Monday through Thursday. If you go to loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com, it's totally free. That's the way Frank rolls, right? I mean, he's always been just like you, Ryan. He's always been a giver. So it's totally free. It's Monday through Thursday. We meet first thing in the morning and we go over Monday. Hey, Monday's the day that we call the real estate agents. And so Frank and another guy, they in a fun way, call him Magic Mike. His first name is Mike, so I call him Magic Mike. And they say, all right, Monday, here's who we're calling. Here's how you find the successful ones. Here's exactly what you say, and here's how you turn that into loans. On Tuesday, we're calling the deals that we already have in the pipeline. Our listing agent, our buying agent, our borrower, our co-borrower, our title company, our escrow company, giving them an update and asking for more referrals. That tends to, by the way, we get more referrals from that than any other one thing. On Wednesday, Frank and this entire group, they meet every morning. They'll go and say, hey, all right, how did it work on Tuesday? When you did your update calls and asked for the business, how did it work out? And somebody say, well, they gave this objection. And Frank will say, oh, well, anybody got an answer for that one? And loan officer Sue will raise her hand. Hey, I got one. Here, say this next time they say that. So literally we'll have up to like 500 loan officers on this giant Zoom call. And it's just everybody like having a contest to see who can give away the most. In fact, Frank actually gives away prizes for whoever gives away the most. Right. So it's a really cool thing.
That's so cool.
It's very structured. It tells exactly when to do it, exactly what to say, and here's what we do on today. And then tomorrow when you sign on, again, all this is for free, is like, hey, where'd you struggle? What was the roadblock? How do we overcome that roadblock? And here's what we're going to do. It's a great group, loanofficerbreakfastclub.com. And then when they do that, Frank will start sending you the invitation to the Zoom meeting, again, all for free. And it'll also put you in a Facebook group where they're in there sharing ideas. Hey, here's a flyer I used. Here's something I used. Here's a script. What do you guys think about that? It's absolutely fantastic.
Love
and
it, Frank.
I highly recommend it. And Frank, you're just an awesome dude, buddy.
That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Carl. This is Carl's brainchild, by the way, just to be clear. But when I connected with Carl, he says, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, that sounds pretty cool. But inside I was like, oh my God, I don't know if I can ever do this. Like what he's asking me to do. I just don't even know.
It's the largest daily meeting of loan officers in the entire industry.
For sure.
It's massive.
Yeah, it's huge. But now that we're in it and we're about, we'll be 2 years in, probably in July or something like that, or August. I think it'll be August that we're officially two years in on it. But Loan Officer Breakfast Club has just become just the highlight of my day and the joy of my life right now. And it's so great to just get together with so many originators and just talk it out and work through everything and have a plan. Like you said, Ryan, we've got the blueprint. Let's follow the blueprint. Let's get together and talk about it every day and get better at it and get better at it and get better at it. And that's what happens. And that's what we do. And it's pretty remarkable. It's a good time, man. It's a good
Love
time.
that, man. And it's a community. It's a community of your peers.
Oh, for sure.
Doing what we're doing right here, focusing on winning, sharing overcoming objections, giving a blueprint. Like, I
Yeah.
love that. I love that. And you know, if you guys are kind of feel like you got the 1,000-yard stare right now, not really knowing what to do and who to connect with, like that's an amazing place to start. What a great executable action item right now. Like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna join Frank at the
Yeah.
Breakfast Club, and I'm gonna check out marketing animals, guys. If you need direction and a
Yeah.
blueprint, I think that's a great start. So you guys are absolute OGs, still killing it, you know, decades later. So mad respect for you guys. I appreciate you just carving out a half hour for us, and then like Frank and Carl, like inviting them into that community. Huge win, you know, guys. If you're looking for some teammates, you know, to help navigate, let's start there. And
Sounds good.
again, you guys have always been good friends. I appreciate everything you do for the industry and the relationship we built over the last 12, 15 years. So thank you again for everything, guys. Appreciate you carving out time.
You
And
too, Ryan.
I feel like
Back
this
at
went
you,
too
man.
fast. So maybe we can dust off and have 2.0. You guys good with that?
Yeah, anytime.
Like I said, Frank, yeah, anytime, whenever. Just let me know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Appreciate you. Have a good one. See you next week.